While the country has been subjected to periodic lockdowns to curb the spread of the coronavirus, it remains a clear and present danger to our health and our lives. So we must all continue to wear a mask, keep our distance from each other, wash hands regularly or be sanitized, and yes, get vaccinated. Welcome. It's another Saturday and we continue to keep you informed through this half-hour journey inside Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Take your seat. We'll continue to go through the pages, starting with this important message.
When your turn comes for the vaccine, please take the vaccine. It is absolutely important. For those who have hesitancy and fear, and all of that is legitimate, it's healthy. But I believe we have seen the vaccine at work. We know what the risks are. There are no riskless activities in life. We urge you to participate in the national program and get vaccinated.
Vaccination remains a key means to preventing hospitalization and death related to COVID-19. Learn more in this next feature.
We cannot continue in managing the pandemic by always shutting down. Shutting down has serious financial implications.
That's why government has opted to scale up its vaccination drive. It's another instrument in the state's toolbox aimed at wresting the country from the grips of the COVID-19 pandemic. And unlike other measures currently in place, this tool is one that only you can effectively utilize. Since March 2020, Jamaica has been in a fight against the coronavirus. So far, the island has taken heavy losses. The death toll is rising. COVID-19 cases are increasing. Hospitalization rates are going up. Schools have been forced online. Business and recreational hours have been curtailed, and the list goes on. But now we have a chance to turn the tide, and that fighting chance is through vaccination.
Why should I take a COVID-19 vaccine?
Are COVID-19 vaccines safe?
Are there side effects?
Yes, the questions are many, but the government is making itself available to give you the answers you seek. Let's start from the beginning. Vaccines are a type of medicine that stimulates a person's immune system to protect against a disease. When vaccinated, the body can make antibodies to fight an infection before you become unwell. COVID-19 vaccines are more than 82% effective in preventing infection. The vaccine is administered in either 2 doses or a single shot, depending on the brand. In the case of the 2-dose vaccine, the first and second shots are given 3 weeks apart. Once a person receives the 2 doses, they are not fully protected until 2 weeks later. Common side effects of the COVID-19 vaccine include injection site pain, fatigue, fever, and aches. Persons may also experience other side effects which don't usually last longer than 3 days. After 72 hours, if side effects continue, you are asked to seek medical attention. Vaccinated persons may still be able to get infected with COVID-19, though the chances of this are minimal. But what's more comforting is that you are unlikely to get severely ill from the infection. Now that we've got the basics out of the way, let's get down to the meat of the matter.
Why should I take the COVID-19 vaccine?
The vaccine is there to protect your life, your livelihood, your happiness against a virus that can kill you.
Why should I take this hurry-come-up medication?
The work in the development of the vaccine depended on all the scientific knowledge that we've built up over the decades, developing the childhood vaccines that are so effective and safe, but also went back to 2005 with the SARS outbreak.
These vaccines have a long history of development. Though they were rapidly brought to market, they were in development for a long time. The technology around the development of these vaccines is well tested and well proven as well.
How effective are vaccines?
The vaccines that are authorized by the WHO are proven to be effective and safe. They are not perfect, but we do find that they are very effective in preventing people getting severe disease, and they are safe. It's very rare serious adverse events occur.
Can COVID-19 vaccine cause death?
The level of concerns in terms of adverse reactions, those have been statistically insignificant and very small. So in general, the vaccines appear to be very, very safe.
In fact, you have a bigger risk if you go into your car in the next hour and drive for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You have a bigger risk of dying in a road accident.
Can the vaccine worsen a medical condition?
Calculate your risk. If you feel you're sick and you're too sick to take it, get your doctor's advice.
Is the vaccine the virus?
The vaccine is prepared in a way that it cannot really infect you. All it can do is stimulate your immune system.
It is in the achievement of herd immunity safely that we will be able to dispense with these non-clinical measures, which have had a devastating impact on our economy.
When is the best time to take the vaccine?
The time is now. We have vaccines. We have enough vaccines that if you should come out tomorrow, we'll be able to vaccinate everyone who would come.
Does the vaccine really protect?
It will almost always protect you from serious disease, even due to Delta. But it may not prevent you from becoming infected. You could still get infected with the virus, but your body resists getting very ill. And most people will resist getting any symptoms, but there is still a little risk that you could. Hence, we keep on the mask. All of us are vaccinated, but we keep on the mask.
How can I get the COVID vaccine in my community?
We will come to a community near you. If you are in doubt as to a location, contact your closest health center. We have 325 of them across the country, normally within close proximity to a community, or your parish hospital, or your member of parliament, or your councillors, or your church leaders or civic leaders, because we're going to be reaching out to them.
We have mapped where our persons with special needs are, and we will be engaging them.
Which COVID vaccine is the best?
The best vaccine is the one that is available. And we will have all the approved vaccines, or most of the approved vaccines. But take the first vaccine that is available. That is the best vaccine. That's the safest one, because the quicker you get it, the safer you are.
Let's get back on track. Let's keep ourselves and our families safe. After all, we're one Jamaica, one family.
Jamaica's COVID-19 vaccination plan is still in effect. If you wish to make an appointment, please do so online by visiting moh.gov.jm or by calling 888-663-5683. Vaccination still a keep. Go get your jab today.
Ever thought of how good oral health impacts your overall well-being? The truth is, it allows for proper nutritional intake, as this is where the digestive process begins. Care, therefore, must be taken to protect the teeth and gum and avoid associated diseases. Learn how we can do that in our next feature.
Dental health is really important because the mouth is the entry point of nutrition in our bodies. And if it is not functioning properly, then we run the risk of not getting the correct nutrition. Actually, we refer more so to oral health these days than dental health. If we have bad teeth that impair our ability to chew properly, then we will tend to keep away from certain food groups that could be challenging to chew. People with bad oral hygiene, people who use and eat and drink a lot of sweets. You can have decay, and you can also have, along with it, periodontal gum disease. You know, the big one that jump out at me is periodontal disease, gum disease. That is when the gum begin to be bleedy, sore, puffy, and just generally uncomfortable. It carries some social consequences, bad breath, and you tend to lose self-confidence. It's so important to have a consultation with your dental personnel, whether the dental surgeon or the hygienist, who will be able to diagnose the needed treatment for such a condition. All sugars are bad, but everything is in moderation. The Jamaica Dental Association endorsed the efforts of the government in reducing the levels of sugar in the bottled beverages. The aim is to get it to 2.5 milligrams in 100 mils by the year 2023. It would be roughly 2.5 teaspoonful. The current level that the government has aimed for, and it was introduced at the end of January, is 5 milligrams per 100 mils. So that is coming from 6.5, so it's a gradual reduction. And the taste will be not so significantly different. As a dentist, I recommend the soft, but I'm aware that a lot of patients tend towards the harder ones. It does some damage by cutting a little line at the neck of the teeth, just where the teeth meet the gum line. So we recommend the soft toothbrush. It's really important to begin by putting the brush on the gum. A lot of people avoid the gum because they tend to think that it makes the gum bleedy. It's the exact opposite. It is as a result of not brushing the gum why there is some amount of bleediness. And you should brush in the direction of growth. The top ones, you brush them down in a circular motion, and the bottom ones, you brush them up, covering all surfaces. Don't forget your tongue and, as I said before, the gum itself. Flossing is very, very important. If you try to imagine that the toothbrush does not get between the teeth, the only thing that can remove the material that will accumulate between the teeth would be the dental floss. The technique is also important. Hold it short, get it past that little tight area, and gently bring it down into the gum, that little crevice of the gum, and remove it. Remove material that might have accumulated there. And we recommend 6 monthly checkup. If you tend to be prone to decays, we would really like to see you every 6 months. If you have been checked and you are pretty much okay, a yearly visit would be adequate. Extraction really is the last resort. With regular examination, we can pick up using x-rays and visual examination early decays, and these can be effectively dealt with by regular fillings. If it has gone too far and it is now in the nerve, there are other procedures called root canals that can be done, and sometimes we need to cover the entire tooth with a crown to bring it back to usefulness. If your teeth are malaligned, just not aesthetically pleasing, or are causing some kind of effect on your body, then they should be straightened. Orthodontic treatment or braces simply mean moving the teeth through bone to put them in a more harmoniously pleasing position. It's important because you are moving teeth through bone, and the harmony between the joint, the soft tissues and the teeth must be respected. Not respecting it can result in pain in the joint, headaches, and just a general sense of discomfort in your mouth. It's important to visit your dentist regularly and without fear, because with new technology, and we now have many new dentists in our system, where it's not difficult to get an appointment to see a dentist on a regular basis. There's always a needle, but outside of that, there's absolutely no pain.
It's the 11th staging of the JIS Heritage Competition. Students, show your national pride by entering the essay, poster and photo competition. Primary school students, enter the essay competition. Triumphant, proud and free. Use this phrase from the song Jamaica Land of Beauty to explain our nation's heritage and achievements. High school students, design a poster that best portrays the phrase triumphant, proud and free. And university students, capture a photo that depicts the phrase triumphant, proud and free. Submit your entries by October 31. Visit jis.gov.jm for competition guidelines. Triumphant, proud and free, the JIS Heritage Competition 2021.
Many families suffer through trauma and losses resulting from domestic violence. This perhaps could have been avoided if those involved knew how to deal with conflicts and were armed with the right moral values and coping skills. But what exactly is domestic violence, and how can persons seek help? Keep watching to find out.
All that is an actual story, a story all too familiar. And well, that's a part of my story. Growing up, I've seen my father flip over the simplest of things. He would basically change from an angel to a devil in a flash. I remember this instance. My mom told me that she was coming home from work one evening because she worked very close to where he lived. She was coming home from work, and usually when you're leaving work, it's a lot of persons leaving at the same time, and she was talking to one of her co-workers and she smiled at him. He smiled back, and my father saw that. And when she went home, he was ready for her. He was like, "Oh, see, I smile at my pan the road. You smile at my pan the road." He beat her, he stripped her naked, and he chased her in front of the yard so all her co-workers could see. So all her co-workers could see her.
Domestic abuse or domestic violence is not just physical abuse. The physical abuse basically for us is the end product coming from somewhere else. So you have stalking, you have intimidation, you have threat, you have psychological abuse, the one that I'll tell you, I play on your emotions as to what I can do.
It was known to everybody that this was the type of person she was dating, this was the type of man he was. Even the security at the gate, the manager, everyone. So it's not like her life was a secret. If she could not have any friends. He was the only person she could talk to. go anywhere with. If someone even talked to her and she not acknowledging them, she would get beaten for that. The least little thing, he would flip on her.
Usually, persons who are perpetrators of domestic violence are usually men, and usually they are persons who were controlling over their intimate partners. They tend to have a high level of jealousy, and they tend to be very possessive. And as such, you find that they will have a pattern of behavior where they will always check where the partner is by various means, whether by calling the person, ask the person where they are, also want to know who are they communicating with. So are they communicating persons on email, WhatsApp, or the social media platform? They also want to make sure that they know where they are at all times and that they're not interacting with other persons outside. So they tend to want to have them stay home, for example, and lose connection with their families and friends.
A lot of persons knew that my mom was being abused. But the type of man that my father was, everyone was afraid of him. My neighbor was afraid of him. His neighbor was afraid of him. It's like anyone who came into contact with him would get hurt because he's not a simple person. I'm not sure if it's because of his build. He's really fit, he's really tall, muscular, so he's not afraid.
As community members, we have a moral responsibility that within our homes and within our communities, once we are aware that there are instances of domestic abuse and domestic violence and we seek help, best place to go? To the police. Ask the police to intervene. Intervention can be that the police directs the victim to a counseling center, because we have partnership with churches, right? We have partnership with other organizations, Justices of the Peace, counselors.
Every time she escaped him, he would either stalk her, chase her, go to her either friend's house, wherever she went, friend's house, mother's house, cousin's house. No matter where she went, he would find her, go for her with a gun, knife, machete, whatever it may be, and she would always have to go back with him. No one, no matter how much they try to fight and help her, he would always get her back. And when she goes back with him, the beating got worse, the abuse got worse, the rape got worse, everything got worse.
Have an escape plan. Your escape plan cannot be where the perpetrator knows that you're going over to your mother's house because he's aware of where your mother lives. The escape plan cannot be, I'm going to go stay by my friend because he knows where your friends are. If it's a life-threatening abuse, that's where you go to the courts to seek a protection order or an occupation order or both.
I would say maybe around primary school. I'm not sure the exact age. I was told that there was a restraining order for me and between me and my father. He should not be about, I'm not sure how much feet from me. He is not allowed to be near me at all. At this time I was living with my grandmother because my mom got full custody now. They had went through court and everything and fought her way, so there was no more hiding from him. He knew where I was living now because she got custody and he had to basically step away.
The protection order will say you are not to be seen, you are to remove one party is to leave the household because of the volatility of the situation. The court may say, look here, one party must leave the household and reside elsewhere. And other times it's the abuser that the court will say, look, stay somewhere else until the matter is heard. Or you're not to be seen in the workplace of the person.
The abuse that my mom endured, the physical abuse and the verbal abuse that I basically endured from my father, it has caused me to basically lock myself away from people. I'm always by myself, 90% of the time I would say. I'm always by myself. Throughout high school, I've had counseling. I was rebellious because I felt like no one loved me. I struggled in the relationship department, friendship. I have anger issues. I've learned to control it because of counseling. I had this teacher, she helped me throughout high school and university.
Counseling able to revisit what happened, able to process it in a more positive way and more realistic way, so you don't put all the blame on yourself, but you realize that a lot of it wasn't your fault, and then help you now to, having dealt with it, to try to move on. Because a lot of persons, because they don't deal with it, they find it difficult to relate to other persons because of the fact that they are still carrying baggage of what happened to them before.
The Domestic Violence Intervention Centers, one of those facilities that were donated by the U.S. Embassy, and it's a partnership between the JCF and the U.S. Embassy, to create a facility where persons can come and speak about domestic violence and domestic abuse related issues within their home. And so it's a safe space for both victims and perpetrator, and it offers counseling to family members, to victims, also to perpetrators. We have 2 centers that are currently operational. One is at the Matilda's Corner Police Station. You can call the Matilda's Corner Police Station for that. The other one is at Air 5 Headquarters. That's on the same compound as Constant Spring Police Station. The number is 702-5120 or 702-5121.
We also have available mental health and suicide helpline. And this helpline is a 24-hour service, which is toll-free, where persons can call. So it can be either persons calling on behalf of others that they have been exposed to domestic violence. So the helpline is toll-free and it's 888-NEW-LIFE, which is 888-639-5433. And the 24-hour service, 7 days per week.
If you know someone is being abused, say something, do something.
Is your facility approved for COVID-19 testing? The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, through the JANAC Accreditation or Pre-Accreditation Approval Program, validates labs and point-of-care testing facilities such as medical centers. Accreditation safeguards the quality of test results and consumer well-being. Use a JANAC accredited or PAP approved facility for your tests, and let's defeat COVID-19 together. Contact the Jamaica National Agency for Accreditation, confirming competence, providing confidence in the marketplace.
Informing.
Jamaica today confirmed its first imported case of coronavirus.
Educating.
If you follow the recommended procedures, it is highly likely that you will not get the disease.
Going beyond to keep you informed and connected.
Welcome to Get the Fact.
Even through the pandemic. Helping you stay safe while we protect ourselves. Dependable. Impactful. Accurate.
This is your JIS News.
Credible. Trustworthy. Every day, everywhere. Serving our customers proudly.
We've come to the end of our journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine for today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another show. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website, jis.gov.gm, or by subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's both Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry, urging you to take the COVID vaccine, wear your mask, wash your hands, sanitize, and stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.